Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory, welcome to this new show. We're at the end of every week for 30 minutes. We're going to speak about the week, what happened in the week, giving deeper insights, using statistics, having a deeper look into the game we played over the weekend. So this is a new feature on this channel. So if you're buzzing for it, smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel. If it's the first time in this channel and part of this community. So look, let's start this talk. Obviously this week the major news were the Milan game and the Europa League draw. So the focus of this weekly talk is obviously going to be on these two topics. And I think it's only fair to start with some deeper insights, some deeper thoughts of yesterday's game, because I think it's useful as fans to have reactions immediately after games, so hot reactions, and then the next day having cold reactions where maybe not repeating the same things, but looking at the deeper things of games, deeper statistics and all of that. And this is exactly what I'm going to do today. I mean, the first thing which I think needs to be mentioned after yesterday's game is problems. The problems that we encounter when we play football. And I think the problems are two at time of speaking. The bigger problems, in my opinion, are fullbacks and midfield, but transition wise, box to box wise. And this is exactly what I'm going to focus on today. Obviously, there are other problems in this team. We have the goalkeeper who's a liability, but obviously we can't do anything about it other than having bought a new goalkeeper in this transfer window. Now that the transfer window's done, we can still buy free agents, but it's a problem, but it's a problem which we can't change. All of these problems, such as fullbacks, change of formation, as Milos is saying in the chat, midfield lack of knowing what to do, all of these things are things which will take time, but we can definitely change. And it's these steps which we have to make to improve the overall first stage. And I'm going to start off with fullbacks. Fullbacks are a massive problem because none of our fullbacks can cross the ball. And when I'm saying this, I kind of want to laugh, because that's what a fullback needs to do. It's like going, yeah, he's a great midfielder, but he can't pass the ball. It's just so controversial, because all fullbacks need to do is cross the ball and defend. But yet, our fullbacks can't cross the ball. Their ability to cross the ball is very, very, very weak. And you see, the problem which I make, the problem which I ask myself is, okay, we have Spinazzola, Zalewski on one side, and then we have Christensen, Karsdorp, and Cilic on the other side. So we have a combination of 5 different fullbacks. Now, one thing is one of these fullbacks not being able to cross the ball, and that's normal. In every team you've got players who are better at doing things and players who are worse at doing things, and it would be completely normal to have 4 fullbacks which can cross the ball and one of them which struggles to cross the ball because it's not his ability. But to have 5 different fullbacks and none of the 5 different fullbacks can cross the ball suggests to me that during training sessions we just don't learn how to cross the ball. Because again, I'm exaggerating here, but I'm not exaggerating here. None of our fullbacks can give a good cross. And I'm going to back this with a statistic which I found today on Twitter. Look at this. I'm going to put it over here. It's in Italian, but I'll translate it. So this statistic is picking up 4 fullbacks out of 5. It's not picking up Christensen because Christensen is new. He needs time and all of that. Cilic, he played 24 games with Roma, 1 assist. Zalewski played 74 games with Roma, 1 assist. Spinazzola played 47 games with Roma after his injury, 4 assists. And Karsdorp played 126 games with Roma, 13 assists and 1 goal. Is that normal? Somebody who's good at maths, do the ratio. Do the ratio of these things. And if you do the ratio, the conclusion is very, very simple. We, during training sessions, do not train on how to cross the ball. And this statistic always shows you who is the best fullback. It's Karsdorp. Again, maybe, and again, I'm not saying Karsdorp is far better than any of the others, because obviously he played more games and therefore he has more goals and assists, but that's normal because look at him. He's got 3 figures in the games he played and the others only have 2, so obviously it's normal for him to have more contributions and goals. But I'm not, nobody will ever change my opinion on this. The best fullback we have is Rick Karsdorp. And the only reason why Rick Karsdorp right now is not a starting player and has been kind of eliminated from the starting list is because of the fallout we have with the manager. Now, one of the thing is this. If we have a fallout, if a player falls out with a manager, the situations are 2. Either you part ways and Karsdorp leaves the club, or you stick back together and you give chances. Because what we are doing with Karsdorp, to me, makes no sense. Karsdorp fell out with the manager and we've decided to keep him. Because under all effects, Mourinho has decided to reintegrate him back in the team. But if you take this decision, then you have to start him. Otherwise, it makes no sense. He falls out with the manager, we decide to keep him, but we don't play him. What's the logic behind that? So if we've decided to reintegrate him back in the team, great. I have no problem with that. But if we decide to, bring him back, training with the lads, training with the groups, of everyone, then you might as well start him because he is by far better than Cilic. He is by far better than Spinazzola, and he is, in terms of crossing, far better than Zalewski. Now, I'm seeing comments go, well, Karsdorp is a defensive liability. What about the others? Zalewski is a defensive liability, Spinazzola is a defensive liability, and Cilic is a defensive liability. And that's the characteristics of fullbacks which we have. So Karsdorp is placed in a context where, in comparison to the others, he's the best. Because all of them are terrible at defending, at least he's better at crossing the ball. And this is why, again, I've said this yesterday, obviously now 24 hours have gone, my reaction is colder, as I just said. But let's all face this. Cilic is not good. Cilic is not good enough. Cilic is not good enough. And I'm done with that. I'm not going to say anything else because people are going to get mad at this. Simple. Cilic isn't good enough. Another thing about our fullbacks is that our fullbacks present no offensive threat, and I will explain this down. I will break this down by tactical wise. In the meantime, if everybody in this stream can smash the like button, it would support this video a lot. So please do it if you haven't already. All of our fullbacks don't pose offensive threats because because we play in such a way that our fullbacks get zero support. And this, in my opinion, is one of the things which I would like to see changed. You know, one of the reasons why our fullbacks don't pose threat is because they lack support. You look at Milan yesterday. Milan play with a different formation. Milan have got better players than us. So I'm not by any means trying to compare our players with Milan players, because Milan have got one of the best fullbacks in the world under Teo Hernandez, and we have Chilik. And that's the first big thing which suggests and shows you that Milan are a different category from us. But I'm going to break this down tactical wise. Now, have you seen how much Leao and Teo Hernandez support each other when they attack? I could see it from the stadium. And when you're at the stadium, you don't look at the tactical wise of things. Have we all seen how much Teo Hernandez and Leao support each other? Have we all seen how much Mario Rui supports Kvaratskhelia? We play with a formation where this thing can't work out. And when I mean support, Leao's on the wing. Leao gets doubled marking. What does Teo Hernandez do? He overlaps him, and Leao gives it to Teo Hernandez, and that's it. They score. If Zalewski starts running on that wing and he gets double marked by two opponents, nobody is there to support him, and we lose the ball. And this is another tactical thing, which, again, I'm not blaming because it's the formation we play with. It's the three defenders at the back thing which does not help. And this leads me on to say that formation-wise, I'm expecting changes. I mean, if these 3 games don't show us that we need tactical and formation changes, I don't know what does. We don't have balance anymore. I don't know what happened to our balance from last season. I don't know what happened to that great defensive performances. I was speaking about it with a friend today. In those Europa League games, against Salzburg, we conceded 1 goal in 2 games. Against Real Sociedad, we conceded 0 goals in 2 games. Against Feyenoord, we conceded 2 goals in 2 games. And against Bayer Leverkusen, we conceded 0 goals. And against Seville, we conceded 1. So that's 4 goals conceded in 5 European games. What has happened to our defense? We've lost Ibanez, and that is true. We've lost a big player, but I've said it many times. We're in a position where we got to make these decisions. If Ibanez hadn't left, we would never have gotten Lukaku. Some of you guys might go, well, we need Ibanez more than Lukaku, and you might be right. I disagree, because if hadn't we got Lukaku, we would have still been here complaining about strikers. This is just, the law of a human being. We are never happy with what we have. If we hadn't had gotten Lukaku, we would all be here saying that our strikers are terrible. Now that we got Lukaku and sold Ibanez, we're all here saying that our defense is terrible. So, again, but something needs to happen. And the other thing is we lack transition midfielders. The only player which we bought who can be a box-to-box transition midfielder is Renato Sanchez. But again, we can't complain about injuries if we sign injury-prone players. It's like you eat a yogurt which went off 7 days ago, but you decide to eat it, and then you go to the bathroom with a terrible diarrhea and complain about you being sick. Well, if you're dumb and you eat a yogurt which went off 7 days ago, you can't complain if you fall sick and live in the bathroom. And this is the same exact analogy. If we buy injury-prone players, there is no surprise if they get injured. That's just it. So, we lack that player which brings the ball forward. And that player, last season, Matic did it a bit. Matic obviously was more of a defensive midfielder. I would rather have gotten a more Raja Nainggolan type midfielder. But the Matic hole has not been replaced because Paredes is not the same levels with Matic. So that's just the truth. Matic hasn't been replaced, and we lack somebody who brings the ball forward. We lack somebody who infiltrates it vertically. We don't infiltrate the ball vertically. All Cristante does is pass the ball backwards. So, yeah, I mean, these are the formation, tactical, call them whatever you want, things about yesterday's game. I'm gonna show another statistic which I've somebody shared. Sorry, I'm hiding behind here. Let me quickly minimize it. Now, this is our league form. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In the last 11 games of the season, we've only won one game. There are a lot of different reasons for this. One reason is because at the end of last season, we decided to go all in Europa League. Another reason is referees. Another reason is, again, sad reality. Our tactics are shit. Look at that form. That form is Hellas Verona type. That form is relegation. That form is rock bottom of the league. So there's this thing which there's this thing about Mourinho's Roma, and this thing is great on the European front, absolutely massive on the European front. 2 back-to-back finals, 1 European trophy. Nobody will ever forget that. And we look like a different team in European tournaments in terms of mentality, in terms of will, and in terms of fighting spirit. And then you've got Mourinho's Roma in the league. And Mourinho's Roma in the league is worrying because Mourinho's Roma in the league has not improved from Fonseca's Roma in the league or from Di Francesco's Roma in the league. And don't you dare say that Fonseca had better players than Mourinho. And what I'm trying to say here, what I am trying to fast forward is to Mourinho dick clickers. I know that a lot of people here love Mourinho, and I love Mourinho myself because he's changed the perspective of this fan base. But sometimes we just gotta be real. Has there been an improvement Serie wise, from Fonseca's Roma or Di Francesco's Roma to Mourinho's Roma? No. If what, something, we've worsened. And you cannot dare to say that they had better players than Mourinho, because Fonseca didn't have Dybala. Fonseca didn't have these players which Mourinho has. Fonseca didn't have, he played 20 minutes, but Fonseca didn't have Lukaku up front. Again, he's played 20 minutes. We can't judge him. But you see what I'm getting here. What I'm trying to say here is you can't always defend Mourinho, because in these moments of darkness, the blame has to be shared. And if you don't share the blame, you're not a real fan. The blame is on the players because they look absolutely dead. The blame is on the general director because he grabbed the players very late in the transfer window, and because the majority of them are injury prone. But the blame also needs to be with the manager because tactics are poor. And I've seen people go, well, it's not the tactics, it's the players. No, mate, you're wrong if you think that. Because with the players we have, we need to beat sides like Verona or sides like Salernitana. Sassuolo beat Verona yesterday, and I'm not that convinced Sassuolo's team is better than our team. So look, we restart from here, as we always do from these bad moments. We restart from here knowing and being aware that a lot of things needs to change going forward. Europa League is starting in a bit. Group stage with Sheriff Tiraspol from Moldova / Transnistria, Servette from Switzerland, and Slavia Prague from Czech Republic. This is a group stage which we need to top. This is a group stage which we need to top. And I think we will top it, because as I just backed this last 5 minutes, we are better in Europe. But concede me some fear, because when we play these little sides who are like Sheriff Tiraspol, Servette from Switzerland, what we do is we underestimate games. What we do in these games is, I am better than them, I'm going to sit back for 80 minutes and then play in the last 10 minutes. And then they score a goal, and we do not have the abilities to win a game after we score an early goal. Let's bring this back on. Just to show you that we are not good enough when it comes to we concede a goal and then winning the game. Against Atalanta, we lost the game. Against Atalanta, we conceded early, we didn't win a game. Against Milan, actually, we scored early and then they scored. Against Monza, we weren't able to defend the result. Against Inter, we lost and didn't score. Against Salernitana, 2-2. At home against Fiorentina, 2-1. You know, a lot of these games are games where we concede early goals and are not good. We're just not good enough at winning games. And I have a little bit of fear when it comes to that Europa League group stage, because I know that, I know that we're better than them, but I also know that we normally underestimate these games. And look, yes, we have a very, very, in brackets, easy group stage. But having a very easy group stage is also, you've got big responsibilities. Because you are forced to top this group. And if you don't top this group, let's not even think about it. Let's not even think about it. So, but I again, European Roma worries me less, because I know that this team has been implanted a European mentality, and I absolutely love it, because we fight until the end and we don't snub tournaments like our cousins, and this makes me proud. But if we play very well on one side, we also need to play well on the other side, because yes, we can go well in Europa League, but Europa League isn't easy to win. Yes, we reached the final, and we are we were very close in lifting that trophy. But it's hard to lift the Europa League, and if we just focus on Europa League and then somehow we get eliminated and don't focus in the league, that's top 4 gone again, Champions League gone again. So yeah, moving into this international break, many things need to change. I've said this many times, but a lot of things need to change. And the first thing which needs to change is the fitness levels of these players. Because if last season we played with these tactics, at least we ran on that pitch. In these first 3 games, we were playing with the same tactics, but we don't run, which makes things even worse. We don't run. I mean, players were walking on the pitch yesterday, 2-0 down. So yeah, anyways, very bad start. 1 point in 3 games. International break now. And And yeah, let's bring it on. Let's bring this international on. By the way, have we all seen Spalletti being presented as an Italian coach today and say that Cristante's ability to be the kind of the creative, the il mediano is insane. Spalletti loves it. Maybe Spalletti can transform Cristante. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you soon. I hope you enjoyed this new feature. Weekly talk of weekly news, deeper insights, stats, and all of that. So if you haven't already, feel free to smash the like button if you enjoyed it. And yeah, click the subscribe button as well and join this community if you haven't already. If you have, then get your families and friends to subscribe. We've had a bad start, but you know, we can only improve. I mean, we can't get any worse than this. So we've reached the rock bottom now, and it's time to relift ourselves, start to play better, and start to win games. We have got a series of games now, which again, with this team, you can never say we can get full points from. But we have a series of games now which we need to try and maximize points. You've got Empoli at home. You've got Torino away. You've got Genoa away. You have Frosinone at home. Cagliari away. And Monza at home, which is 6 games. And then you've got Inter. 6 games. Are we going to get 18 points? No, we're not. Do we need to try and get more than 13 points? Yes. But again, it's always hard saying these predictions and statements with this team, because as we've probably seen, we are very, very unpredictable. Talk to you soon. Take care and enjoy your Saturday evening with your families and friends. Talk to you soon. Simo out.